भैरवकालिके नमोस्तुते। ओम नमो भैरवाय नमो नमः। जय श्री वामाखेपा, जय श्री श्यामाखेपा, जय खेपा परंपरा, जय माँ जय माँ जय माँ, जय माध्य जय माध्य जय माध्य जय माँ। So good afternoon, and we are back on yet another short video. So these are all mother has suddenly placed me into a state where I am having a little more time during the weekdays, so I can put these 10-minute shots to address quick queries that I receive on my WhatsApp. So we have WhatsApp channel and we have WhatsApp groups. Through that you can ping me directly, and some of the queries I like to address this way. And we will be opening our WhatsApp channel. WhatsApp channel is always open. WhatsApp groups for Amavas, Shani Amavas, which is coming this weekend, and you can join in at that time. You can stay tuned to the channel and the WhatsApp channel for the links to the WhatsApp groups for the Adhya Kali Vidhi. So today's query and question that I received is about non-veg and sadhana. So very recently we had this, on the national news that during the month of Savan in Bihar, nobody was consuming meat, and the day it was over, everybody ran, and there was this 100 crore something record non-veg consumed in a single day. So what does that even mean? What is our key takeaway? Remember, we are a sadhana group, and we are not looking for frivolous short-term benefits. We are not a Friday podcast. This is not a podcast channel. We are looking at serious sadhana subjects, and let's leave the people who are into upasana, and we'll address the people who are into sadhana, serious worship of Devi Kali, and these doubts that you keep getting regarding for the 11 days of sadhana, for the 48 days of sadhana, should I skip non-vegetarian diet, and can I consume it as soon as it is finished? On the 12th day, can I consume meat? Will that be fine? So to put it in very simple terms, number one, if you are not yet over the desire to consume meat, then there is no point pretending to be over it for 11 days, because you're very much alive on those 11 days. You're very much alive for the next 11 days. There is nothing going to be changed. The deity, once the deity makes connection with you during this sankalp, 24/7, 365 days, the deity is aware of who you are, what you're doing, what you're thinking, what is your primal desires to consume, what sort of a food. There is nothing that you can cheat the deity on. So what is the point of saying that you are not over a specific food, but for 11 days alone I'll sacrifice it? So here what happens is that you're just merely surrendering that suffering of being without the food to the deity, and not overcoming the desire for that food. These two things are very important. Are you surrendering your sacrifice of the food for 11 days to the deity, or are you surrendering the complete desire that I'm no longer being run by the desire to consume that food? Are you surrendering that to the deity? These two things are very important. Okay, so before we address this, let me first break away from the concept of rigid rules. Rigid rules do not apply to spirituality. It applies to religion. It applies to religious Hinduism and to spiritual Hinduism. If you see, there is one great who is known to throw bodily fluids at Devi, and he was hit and thrown out of Tarapit. That is Maakali. He is also great. At the same time, there are other greats who are extremely well versed and went as per the rules of their specific temples, worship Devi and worship the deities as per the rules of temple. They are also great. What does this imply? Why is there these two bifurcations in the definition of greats? Why is one great allowed to go as per the rules and still become great? Why is one allowed to break down the rules and still become great? Which simply means good and bad. The definition of good and bad does not exist, and the definition of good and bad is also Devi. It simply means, if you are saying that on the 12th day, the 13th day, or 11 months later, you're still going to be completely under the leadership or under the control of that desire to consume meat, then you might as well stay in that desire, indulge in it completely, and then renounce it completely, overcome and throw away that as it dies a natural death, like the leaf falling off the tree. Don't try to hasten it. Don't try to specifically take any sankalp for diet. This is not a fitness thing where you diet for 6 days and then have a cheat meal on the 7th day. It does not work that way, because this is life after life. This game is life after life. What you do at this life is going to get carried over to the next life. Then stop pretending and overcome it, right? Don't kid yourself and fool yourself and think that for 11 days, if I do not consume that which I am a slave to and love to consume for the whole year, the deity is going to be happy about for me. No. In the Bhairava sadhana, Bhairava path, Maakali, that ultimately leads to Maakali, you will not convince yourself that some decision or diet-based decision that you take is going to hamper your sadhana in any way. If you are very much under the control of your tongue, taste buds, being under the control of it till you detach from it. This simple thing can be understood by the avatars and the placement of the avatars. I read this somewhere and it very beautifully describes how in Kali Yuga you need to understand this. So Sri Rama and Sri Krishna, this subject is about diet only. You will understand it eventually. You take the entire life of Sri Rama and you remove one chapter, and you ask 5 people who have read the entire Ramayana except that chapter. You ask them to write that chapter in their own words. They will be able to very perfectly, they will be able to write the chapter fully, and it will be more or less the same. All 5 people will write it more or less the same, because they know how Sri Rama is. He is rigid, he is Tuda Dharma, he will not break around, he will not break any of the norms, no matter whether it is for good or bad. He will always stick by Dharma. Good or bad of his whole family and all that, he will not look into that. Dharma only. So Treta Yuga, he was like that, and he was the guidebook for Dwapara. Now, same thing for Krishna. Take out a chapter of his life, completely burn off that chapter, and ask 10 people to write it. I assure you, Krishna's character and nature is such that he is so fluid that all 10 people will write 10 different chapters. That will make absolutely no sense to the other. What is the secret message in this? The secret message is so simple that Sri Krishna, who is now relevant not for Dwapar Yuga, he came at the end of Dwapar Yuga. Nobody in the beginning stages of Dwapar Yuga was aware of Sri Krishna. So he came for the Kali Yuga in Dwapar, end of Dwapar. The end of Kurukshetra war is the beginning of Kali Yuga, which means Sri Krishna's message to us was very simple and sweet. It is that he is not bound by the rules of the society, but by the rules of that individual. Which means what is your desire towards meat and what is the next person's desire towards meat are not the same. It is not like Treta Yuga where you could define Sri Rama by ABCD rules. It is no longer like that, because this person over here has completely different taste buds, has completely different karma. We are all at the final stages now. We are in Kali Yuga now, right? We don't have 2 more yugas left. We are at Kali Yuga. So which means, just like the fluidity of Sri Krishna, you do not place your diet as one of the rules of a sankalp. This is the easiest and the simplest technique for you to stay clear of this doubt, because this doubt will rob you of all your kripa. In doubt, if you sit in doubt, you cannot perform any duties in life. Be it the duty of a husband to a wife, the husband is operating out of doubt whether does the wife really love me? Will that marriage be good? If the wife is always worrying, does the husband love me? Will that marriage be good? If you are going and performing a job all the time worrying whether you are aware of your job, whether people like you, whether people don't like you, you will never do well. Similarly, when there is doubt, your sadhana will go for an absolute toss. So, remove from your mind this fear of diet. Understand, just like Sri Rama can be very beautifully, even if you remember 2 chapters from his life, 10 people together will write the same chapter only. If you individually ask them to write, they'll write the same chapter, because we know he's rigid and he's exactly as per this characterization. But Sri Krishna is not like that. He goes to the Kurus and he gives one explanation. At the same time, he will also apply the opposite logic and safeguard his own camp. In his own camp, he will to protect his camp, he will do something that the opposite side will say adharma. At the same time, he will preach to these people that is adharma. So Sri Krishna was never bound by straight rules, which is why if you remove chapter, 10 people will write 10 different chapters, and all 10 people it will be relevant. That is why Sri Krishna is the avatara for Kali Yuga. So don't go back and get confused. So remove the diet, all your desire related doubts that you get in sadhana path, please remove it. It is very hot. It is around 2 o'clock right now. There is no fan, AC, nothing in the space. So I am just sweating it out. But Devi has given time, then I must teach. There should be some use for all this sadhana that I do. And if it is not useful for others, what is the point of doing all this sadhana? We have to show path. Like I said in the episode of Sri Krishna and Karna, once you have achieved something, you have to show path to others on how to achieve it. So I'm telling you this, do not be bound by the rules of your diet. Just throw it off. Just like Sri Krishna's chapters missing chapters will be different for every one of you. Similarly, the degree of your desire towards a specific food will be different for everybody. You can apply this to other facets of your life also. Don't look at me, don't look at that third person, don't look at that fourth person, look at yourself. Are you still very much bound by the desire for that specific diet, a specific meat, a specific food, a specific ice cream? Be bound to it till you detach, naturally, like the fully ripened fruit falling from the tree. Otherwise, it will never be. The fruit tree will always think of the fruit will always be incomplete. So, when it comes to diet, stop thinking so much, wait till it falls off by itself. Until then, indulge in your regular diet in the path of Bhairava. Do not be stuck within the written niyamas written by somebody else, because 10 people will not be able to write the same chapter in the life of Sri Krishna if you remove one chapter. That is the answer. There is nothing rigid about Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga and its rules will become your own spirituality, your own rules will apply to you, because only you are you. Your own rules cannot be applied to anybody else. So there is no rigid rules that will apply to any sankalp other than you being sincere towards the cause, that is to attain oneness with the deity. Only be sincere to this cause. Don't keep thinking, during this 11 days, if I consume non-veg, am I bad? Okay, I will not consume. I will be still very much a fan of non-veg, but for that 10 days alone, I will not consume. But for 11, 12, 13, I will just indulge. The deity sees you as a whole picture. So if you say that for this 11 days, I was pure because I didn't consume, but for this 11 days, I am impure, but I did consume. So this one, when the deity wants to give you something, you are still already consuming it. So it is not a short-term game. It is a 10,000-year, 1,000-year tapasya that you are doing. Sadhana is a 1,000-year game. Let us not pretend that we are over a diet. We are trying to sacrifice something for the deity. Nothing doing. Very calmly consume till you completely detach. And you will one day detach from it. So generally people in their old age, when they are 65, 70, 75, they will detach from all this non-vegetarian food and all that. But a sadhaka, generally he might lose interest in all this much earlier, because his atma is rising faster than the body. Oh, it's already 12 seconds. This video is threatening to go into one of the longer videos, but the temperature is perfect to drive me out of here as soon as possible. So Ma also has given the adesh that it should not be a very long video. So a quick story from Sri Ramakrishna's life, where somebody had asked him, I don't read a lot, so stories very rarely, they are fully in my mind. So I'm just putting it across as much as possible to make sense over here. Somebody asked him, does your body, when he was badly, he had cancer, right? Somebody asked him, does it hurt and all that? You are such a great sadhaka, do you feel pain and all that? He said that the body pains. Yes, the body has pains, the body has all the desires, the body has all the bad days, good days, the body has everything. It is the Atma that is in sadhana, not the body. The body is merely a passenger and the Atma is in the driver's seat. Similarly, the desires that you have, you are merely satisfying the desires for food through your body. He himself was absolutely addicted to sweets, right? Similarly, you are addicted to one specific food. They are both the same. Both are Maya, both don't exist. The sweet that he consumed and whatever it is that you are addicted to as a diet is also, you are addicted to it. Simple. He had sweets, you had this. Both are for the body. The Atma is beyond both. There is some specific desire that Devi has planted in this specific food item that you are consuming, some kind of a bali that you are doing. Every day you consume it, every day you are giving a bali. One day when it is no longer relevant, you will detach it and it will happen automatically. Don't keep sitting, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? All 10 days are gone to absolute nonsense. And when you eat it on 12th day, that which you are trying to sacrifice, but you never sacrifice, you are just waiting to eat it, that entire phala is also gone. So might as well consume it on all 11 days and don't make the sankalp that I will not consume this specific diet on this 11 days. Consume it. Consume it. It is absolutely fine. One day you will detach. Till then you have to give the bali of a specific food item. Till you are not ready to give the bali, you will have to keep indulging in it. And one day you will give bali. After that, it is irrelevant. Don't sit and fight with somebody else and try to convince somebody else that no, this diet is fine, that diet is wrong. Pointless. Just like, remember the example of Sri Krishna. This is the best example. Sri Rama, missing chapter, 10 people are made to write in separate rooms. All 10 will write the same chapter more or less. Because rigid rules of Sri Rama is cutter. He will be like rigid. You know his character is like, he will not step a toe out of the line. He's straight. Whereas Sri Krishna, standing itself is in Tribhanga. He says his body itself he turns in 3 separate ways and only he stands in the Tribhanga, which means to all 10 people, Sri Krishna's nature will appear in 10 different ways, which means your karma, your taste and your desires are separate from the man right next to you who might be sitting and doing the same Guru sadhana. So don't sit and indulge and ask questions to each other. Instead, focus on your sadhana. Focus on your sadhana without doubts. Surrender all doubts to the Guru and do your sadhana. You will keep on moving forward. So non-veg, veg, chhod do. This topic does not exist. Individual journey matters till you do not detach by itself naturally and organically. Be attached to it so that you detach right. There will be a subsequent video on this. This video is again threatening to go long. I don't want to do that. There will be a proper long video on this subject. At that point, I will address this even in deeper with technical proof that it is actually, there are proofs in some of our historical texts that tell you that you will indulge till you renunciate. You do not forcefully renunciate. The beggar cannot renunciate from a Lamborghini and say that I am not attached to these desires of this car, but he has never experienced it. So experience and detach, that is the game. Experience and attain shunyata, that is the game. That is why you are on this Mrityu Loka, to experience and detach all desires. This applies to all desires. Jai Ma. Bhairava Kalike Namostate. Om Namo Bhairava. Jai Khe Pah Parampara. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma Adya. Jai Ma Adya. Jai Ma Adya.